crash helmets, your bubble wrap, and your goggles. We are about to embark on hyperspace warp drive. Morning, everybody. How y'all doing? We'll start with some songs. You're welcome to hum, dance, do light aerobic exercise. Only light, though. Apparently, yes. Actually, the office lady at my school, she was so excited about her gym opening up again. So she went to the gym the other night, and they've programmed all the treadmills so that you can only walk. So she can't run on the treadmill because then she would be breathing too much. And if a year ago you told us that they would program the treadmill so you can't. That's great. All right, you know what? You are welcome here. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart and lay all your fears and all your doubts aside. Let go of all the hurt you hold inside. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart and receive the love of all who gather round. For you are worthy of the gift of love right now. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. Well, who have known who you are is enough.
Enough.
Who have known you could be so loved. Well, we knew, and now you know. Yes, we knew, and now you know. Welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, open up your heart. Let's open up our heart. Let's open up our heart. Hey Bob, is this camera on me now? Is this one on me, do you think? Is it? Can you pivot the camera? I just wanted to say, everybody at home, you don't get to see them apparently. They just told me that you only see me. Patty's here. Yay, Patty. Vivian, Doug, Chad, Gavin, and Bob. They're all here doing their thing. Yes, and you can clap for them. All right, well, let's all do some songs together. Let's start with One Great Power. One Great Power should be up on the screen here momentarily. There is just, you can stand up. Or sit down, or lie on the floor if your back is hurting. There is just one presence, just one light, shining in the world like a beacon in the night. I'll try that again in English, okay. There is just one presence, just one light, shining in the world like a beacon in the night. There's just one power we all can share, one great power everywhere. Oh, one great power, one great love, big as the ocean and the skies above. Oh, one great spirit waiting in prayer, one great power everywhere, one great power everywhere. There is just one purpose, just one spark, burning in our souls like a candle in the dark. There is just one chorus we all can sing, one great power, let it ring. Oh, one great power, one great love, big as the ocean and the skies above. One great spirit waiting in prayer, one great power everywhere. There's one great power everywhere. Oh, one great power, one great love, big as the ocean and the skies above. One great spirit waiting in prayer, one great power everywhere. There's one great power everywhere. There's one great power everywhere. What's that? All right. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Over to Patty.
No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Over to Vivian.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Over to Doug.
No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Good morning, everyone. And good morning to all of you out there in Zoom land. Welcome to another Sunday morning at Unity of Calgary. And if you are new to our community, please know that there are packages at the back for people that would like to know more about Unity and what it's all about. And to realize that wherever you are in your spiritual journey, you are always welcome here at Unity of Calgary. And thank you, Anthony and the band, for that wonderful performance, those wonderful songs. Isn't it wonderful that we can stand up and sing and be part of it? Yoo-hoo! I am part of the spiritual unity team here at Unity of Calgary, the spiritual team. And my name is Bob Elwood, and I am your service coordinator for today. So let us begin with an affirmative prayer. Allow yourself to plant your feet on the floor and simply breathe. We come here every Sunday morning to remember that there is only one source, one light, one love, one presence throughout the universe. It is called by many names: God, Allah, Muhammad, universal intelligence, the field. So please feel free to use whatever word you'd like to use or words to describe that presence. Something bigger than you that is helping all of us, guiding all of us. Allow yourself to connect with your own heart in this moment. And know that it is that presence, that love, that connects us all. And from your own heart, imagine that love growing bigger so that it encompasses your whole body. And then expanding even further to reach out to your friends, your families, your communities. And allow it to grow even bigger so that it encompasses the whole world. Feel that oneness, that unity, that connection that binds us all, that guides us. March, the word for March is wisdom. So allow that wisdom, which is ever present within you, to become a real idea in your life. That there is a wisdom deep within that creates unity, order, and harmony in the world. It's doing it right now in your own body. Trillions of chemical processes happen with each breath. And yet, are you doing that? Are you organizing all those cells? No. It is that deeper presence, that infinite love that is helping to guide you, to keep you whole and healthy, teaching you what you need to learn, when you need to learn it. And so, as you sit here, have faith, have trust that when you're in doubt, there is a wisdom, a universal intelligence that is available. Ask that wisdom, that intelligence, that love for guidance. And then wait for the answer. And trust and know that that answer will come. It is ever present. And you can trust it. God is for you each and every moment. And so it is. And now, if we could have our statement of being, let us all affirm together this statement of being. We are here as love to celebrate the one power, the one presence in our lives, in this community, and in the universe. Every week we read the Daily Word. This publication has been published through Unity for almost 100 years. I believe in 2024 it'll be the 100th anniversary of the Daily Word. Wow. And we get to share that each week. And each week we have a new reader, and today we have our very own Katie Grinham to come up and read our Daily Word. Let's please welcome Katie.
Good morning, everyone. The daily word for today is world peace. Celebrating diversity and affirming unity, I am the presence of peace in the world. The road to world peace begins with my open-hearted acceptance of those who are different from me. Our world is vast and diverse, and its people come from a wide variety of cultures and histories. The more I learn about those whose lives differ from mine, the more I can appreciate their perspective and empathize with their struggles. When I make a decision to understand others, I discover that judgment fades in the light of compassion. Today, I sow through my acceptance and understanding peace. Peace in the world grows as I join my brothers and sisters in celebrating the glory of human diversity and affirming oneness in God. And from Hosea 2:4, nations shall not lift up swords against nations. Neither shall they learn war anymore. Wouldn't that be awesome? Let's hold that. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. Wouldn't that be awesome? And we can help do that. It's why we come here every Sunday. And part of the reason we come is to live this vision, a worldwide vision, that there's almost 900 Unity communities around the world, and this is their vision. And we are holding that vision in our own community as well. So please affirm with me. We envision a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And how we do that here at Unity is through our mission statement. Years ago, the whole community gathered together and came up with why we're here and how we're going to live this vision. So please affirm with me our mission for Unity of Calgary. We are a welcoming, vibrant, spiritual community that inspires hearts and transforms lives by expressing our divine essence. So if this is what you desire, know that you are definitely in the right place. And now we have some announcements. There we go. March 14th, next Sunday, our very own Susan Cullen is going to be speaking. Yay! I see Susan is getting wiser by the day. She's learned so much here at Unity, and her spiritual journey has taught her so much, and she's willing to share that with us. And this is how we grow together. How we become stronger is by sharing our learnings throughout life. And she's going to be sharing her learnings, and her talk will be Unleashing the Wisdom Within. Wisdom is the highest form of spiritual knowing and does not depend on reasoning, intellectual understanding, or deduction. Ooh, go figure. Looking forward to hearing her speak. Our next Zoom coffee chat will be at March 11th, Thursday evening at 7:30. The links are on the website and the newsletter. And we're also going to be opening that up to, we're going to be starting Divine Essence Circles. And we're going to have an opportunity for people who want to know more about the Divine Essence groups. If you could come on that chat on Thursday, you can ask your questions and discover more about what they're all about. So I hope to see you all there on Thursday evening. Our Hearts and Hands is coming up on March 21st at 3:30 as a Zoom meeting. This is an opportunity for the entire community to come together. We're going to be sharing with you where we are, what's happening at Unity, and where are we going to go. And we need your input. We need everyone's input. So please join us all on March 21st at 3:30 to find out where Unity is going next. As I already mentioned, Divine Essence groups are going to be starting soon. I've been putting it out into the community, all the members. I've contacted all the members, or almost all of them, and we have 25 people that have already signed up to be part of a Divine Essence group. And for those of you who aren't aware, we sort of took the Power of Eight idea from Lynn McTaggart, which is very interesting. For all of you, the new Unity magazine this month has Lynn McTaggart as the cover story, and there's an article in there about 6 pages long explaining her intention experiments and her Power of Eight groups. So what a coincidence. So if you want to get a better idea of what these Power of Eight circles are, we're calling them Divine Essence groups. There'll be groups of 8 people that get together once a week to support each other and intend together. Because together the energy from a group is greater than the sum of its parts. And it's quite powerful. I've been part of one for 2 years now, and I highly recommend it for everyone. We're going to be starting our next Zoom class, How to Pray Without Talking to God. It's actually, what's the life? Oh, there it is. The Life of Prayer, and it's based on the book How to Pray Without Talking to God. It'll be Wednesday, April 7th, 5 weeks, starting Wednesday, April 7th to May 5th at 7 to 9:30 in the evening, or Thursday, April 8th to May 6th from 1 o'clock to 3:30 in the afternoon. There is a suggested love offering of $50, and for more information, you can go on the website, or you can contact Alara Payton. And her contact info is on the newsletter as well. How to contact us? The next AGM. Oh, I missed that one. Yes. Our AGM has been rescheduled for May 16th. And then our ways to contact us. There are many ways. The Unity website, Unity of Calgary website, the Facebook page, Facebook community group. You can sign up for the newsletter. I find that the best way to find out what's going on at Unity. They send it out once a week, and it's got all the things that are happening now and that are coming in the future. And it's a wonderful way to stay in touch and keep abreast of what's happening at Unity of Calgary. And now we have our Unity band with their director, Anthony Burbridge. Let's please welcome Anthony and the Unity band.
Hello. Actually, I should say a lot of people have asked me about this song and when you'll be able to hear a recording of it. So some of you might remember Deanne Matley, who is a singer she's sung at Unity many times over the years. She's in Montreal now, but last time she was here, in Calgary, she had heard the song. She had come to Unity, and she came to me afterwards and said, "Can I record it?" And so finally, this is like going back several years ago. Finally, it's available now, so you can listen to her version. It's really, really nice. It kind of sounds like Sarah McLachlan solo at the piano, and yeah, it's really beautiful. So you can't hear my version of it on recording yet, but you can hear hers. This is called 99 Steps. One day at a time, no matter how deep the pain inside, one day at a time, one step at a time, no matter how high the mountain I climb, step at a time. Take one step to you. Take 99 steps to me. Oh, it's never been as hard as I thought it would be. So take 99 steps to me. 99 steps to me. One prayer at a time. No matter how narrow the way I find, one prayer at a time. One yes at a time. No matter how wide the hurt inside, one yes at a time. I take one step to you. Take 99 steps to me. It's never been as hard as I thought it would be. Take 99 steps to me. 99 steps to me. Oh, and everybody knows it's impossible to know what's coming like no one came before. We're blindsided by surprise till we finally realize that it's not us who's really in control. One voice inside, no matter how loud the noise in my mind, one voice inside, one path to you. No matter how cool the world may be, one path. Take one step to you. Take 99 steps to us. It's never been as hard as we thought it was. Take 99 steps to us. Take 99 steps to us. Take one step to you. You take 99 steps
to me. 99 steps to me.
Isn't that a comforting thought? We only have to take one step towards the divine, and the divine will take 99 steps towards us, which really means all we have to do is open our hearts to trust and to believe that there is a love out there that can touch us, can reach us, and can bring the answers to the questions that we have in life. And now, our speaker this week, as you all may know already, most of you, is Doug Craig. Woohoo! Yes! He's been on this spiritual path for over 40 years. And he walks his talk. I've seen him do it. He's open and honest, and speaks from his own heart and from his own experience. And I think that's a powerful way to teach and a powerful way for us to learn, because when we're speaking from our own experience, it makes it so much more relatable. And that's what I feel when Doug speaks, is I can relate to what he's saying. It makes sense to me. He uses a lot of common sense in his talks. He's going to be doing his meditation first, and then he will be doing the talk. And so without further ado, let us please welcome Doug Craig.
I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. We are opening. We are opening. Our hearts are ready to receive. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening.
And as we open to receive, we know that there is only one eternal life that is forever giving of itself. And that is God's life, my life, your life, right here and right now. And we take this time to go within, to quiet the mind, and to go deep within to that spiritual essence within us. And we allow the words of the great Master Jesus to guide us. Seek ye first the kingdom, and all is given unto you. Behold, the kingdom is at hand. It's neither lo here or lo there. Behold, the kingdom of God is within you. And so as we resonate on that words that Jesus spoke, we know that there is a spiritual wisdom that's available to all. It's not something that needs to be required or learned. It is simply something that is already within us that needs to be revealed through us in our own experience. Wisdom is the cornerstone of reflecting upon this idea and accepting that we are worthy of the very best in life, because that is who we are and what we are, spirit in pure expression. So we allow ourselves to take some moments of silence to reflect upon who and what we are, and to be open and receptive for asking for divine wisdom to guide us, lead us, and direct us in all that we are, all that we do, all that we experience, and in all that we can be. And let us know that that which is there for us at all times and in all situations. And know that we are divinely guided and blessed, and that divine right action takes place in our life. And there's a gradual, orderly, sequential unfoldment into form of the highest and best that we can be, individually and collectively. For the Spirit gives us all the wisdom that we need. Our job is to adhere to it and to put it into practice in all areas of our life. So within this words that we speak, I now declare and accept that there is an opening and an openness in our heart to receive and express this divine wisdom. And so it is.
I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. We are opening. We are opening. Our hearts are ready to receive. We are opening.
was really nice. Thank you, Anthony. So my talk today is accessing, receiving, and using spiritual wisdom. So one of the things I want to do to start out with is really kind of set the stage so everybody knows what's happening this year and how we start developing ourselves. So for January and February, our basic themes were faith and strength, which represent the disciples, Peter and Andrew, who are brothers. Now we go into the next two, who are also brothers, James and John. And it's not James the less, the other disciple. These are James and John, who are the sons of Zebedee. And they sat on the left and the right of Jesus. And of course, that's the head and the heart. So you have your faith, your strength, working with your head and your heart. And that's the whole package that we got. All the rest are tuning up the other areas and the abilities that we got. But that's the core. How do I know that's the core? Because if you look in Scripture, you always see whenever Jesus ran into turbulence or times where he needed to go and reflect, he always took Peter, James, and John with him. He took his head, heart, and his faith. And he had to have his strength to be there. And even in troubled times, for example, when he was going through the trial, he went to meditate and pray, and his disciples fell asleep. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. So the reason that's important in this journey is this is where the wisdom starts, is to know that if you're working on something, or you're working with yourself, or you're working with whatever's going on in your life, and you're doing really well, and then all of a sudden you go, does that happen to anybody? Okay? And then you got to pick yourself up. And you know, the trouble with this is we think that there's something wrong with us doing that and then picking ourselves up and then doing it again. We think that there's something wrong with us. There's nothing wrong with us. That's just a natural progression of reconciling the spiritual with the physical in yourself. And how do we know there's nothing wrong with it? Well, I mean, if there's something wrong with it, there is something wrong with Jesus. It's that simple. So if we accept that he is a great example, then that means there was nothing wrong with what he did, and that's the disciples going to sleep with him, happened with him, and it happens to us. So I wanted to set that stage stepping into wisdom, because that's one of the keynotes to know what the great thing about what Charles Fillmore did in the 12 Powers of Man, writing about each one of the 12 disciples representing a being within us, a part of our being that needs to be developed to be complete. That's when Jesus said to Peter, when he called the first disciple, upon this rock I will build my church. I never read anywhere where he said he did any building. So what was he talking about? This is the church. So we do that with wisdom. What is wisdom? So I want to talk a little bit about wisdom versus knowledge first, just before I get into wisdom, because knowledge is a part of wisdom. But knowledge that's not applied, knowledge that's just learned, is simply that, knowledge. And that's it. And it's okay, but it really doesn't do much good. You know, it's good for conversation. I was talking to Bob before we started, and I was saying, now, I got lots of knowledge. Man, I got the neatest stuff on trivia that you'd ever want to hear about how they come up with all the sayings that we take for granted and all kinds of stuff. Virtually useless. Absolutely useless, unless I'm sharing it and getting a ooh, wow from a person. But what good is that going to do you? Nothing. Right? Really, it's just conversation. Or you could study a discipline and become an expert on it. I was talking with Claude about that, about being an expert. Well, you could be an expert on it, but if you can't apply it, all you're an expert on is knowledge. Okay? So knowledge unapplied really isn't that good for you. Okay? So wisdom. In the 12 Powers of Man, Charles Fillmore said, wisdom includes, now you got some words here you got to get out of the box to think about. Wisdom includes judgment, discrimination, intuition, and all departments of mind that come under the head of knowing. So we got judgment and discrimination. As soon as you hear those two words in today's context, all of a sudden we got to get up, people get up and go, whoa, we got to watch it here, something's going on. Got nothing to do with any of that stuff. So let's just void ourselves of that so we could get the true meaning of it. I went to Wikipedia and got a really neat definition of wisdom. I like it. Wisdom, sapience, or sagacity is the ability to think and act using knowledge. Got it? Think and act using knowledge. Not think, but think and act. Experience, understanding, common sense, and insight. Wisdom is associated with attributes such as unbiased judgment, compassion, experiential self-knowledge, self-transcendence and non-attachment, oh, there's a big one, and virtues such as ethics and benevolence. So I want to talk about this thing so we get real clear about this idea of judgment, discrimination, and intuition. So these are my takes on it. So judgment is a tool for evaluating alternatives and making decisions. It's using good judgment in how we look at things and what we choose to do. So that's the judgment. It's not putting a judgment on something and locking yourself in and saying it's this way or that way. It's looking at all your alternatives and making good choices. So that's what judgment is. Very important. We got to get clear on those two different uses. Unfortunately, we're jaded with judgment and discrimination in our society today, meaning something that it is, but not what it really is in totality for us. And so discrimination is being aware of and being wise, discriminant, in selecting what one focuses their mind on. Does anybody have lots of thoughts running through their mind? And do you ever get any on the days that are really weird and unusual, and you wonder where did they come from? And you stop and think about them, and soon you're into a story. And so discrimination is being discriminant about what we allow ourselves to spend our time and energy on focusing. So that's the discriminant. You discriminate what type of thoughts that, not that you invite in because they come in, but what you're going to hold in and what you're going to focus on, because whatever you do is what you become, ultimately in the long run. You always become whatever it is that you're focused on. I always tell people, it's never a question about being right. The nice thing, and you heard it here first, you always get to be right. It doesn't matter what. Especially we got this whole thing going on with this COVID, and you could be right about any position you want to take, and you could substantiate it with all the facts, and your facts could be right, and so would the other person's. That doesn't matter. It's not relevant. It's never about that. Because it doesn't matter which side you pick, or if there's 10 sides, it doesn't matter. You get to be right. So you always get to be right. So the question that one needs to ask oneself is, what do I want to be right about? Okay? And when you honestly do that, then it opens up more doors to see things differently and to see how one is going to respond. Nobody likes to be in judgment or have somebody unload their opinion on you in a negative way. Has anybody ever had that happen? I always go back to a story a few years ago that happened to me in Kensington. It was the end of Santa season. It was 2 years ago. And it was my last shift, and I had a really busy Santa season. It was just spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. And I always went to the roastery in Kensington because, Santa's got his little stops where he gets his coffee. because I can't have the wine and the beer and stuff like that on duty. Well, I don't anyhow, but got lots of offers for that. And I'm sitting in there with my suit on and just sipping my double espresso. I just reflect, isn't this been great? I got a half hour left. Wonderful. And then pretty soon the door opens, and in walks this guy who was way bigger than me, and I'm a pretty big guy. And you could just feel him, and he walks over and he starts on me. And he used all the adjectives for the ones that we won't even want to address here. It's nothing but Christmas and nothing but blah, 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 and then this is blah, 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 blah. And, normally if I was thinking, old Doug would have done that differently than what I did. But I sat there, and he kept going on, and I just had a sip or two of my espresso. And then finally, I just stuck my hand up in his face, like that. But that far from his face. That's it. That's enough. Now, I've heard your opinion. I'm going to tell you mine. So I told him what I thought. And then I said, now you've had your opinion, I've had mine, it's over. And the guy looked at me, he grumbled, and went and got a coffee, and he sat down and had a nice conversation with people. Okay? And so the wisdom comes from how you want to handle things and what you draw upon. Because old Doug would not have done that before. It depends on how old you got old Doug, If you go way back, then it would have been a very short conversation. And as I progressed, there would have been more discussion right up to that point where everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody. What do I want to be right about? I want to be right about where I'm at and how to express it in my intention is a non-aggressive manner. Try that on for size when you're not used to it. I used to do it aggressively, but this was very assertive and very clear in what my intention was. Okay? So that's one of the key things for dealing with discrimination and judgment. Now, the next animal we want to get into here, I got to read something here that Charles Fillmore said about this. He said, when the desires for the pleasures of sensation is indulged and the guiding wisdom ignored, a realm of consciousness is established that regards the material universe as the only reality. And so how does that apply to what I just said? If I allow myself to go down to the place where that individual is from, then I'm allowing that material world to be my reality because I'm buying in to what the individual says. We always want to look for the higher road and take the higher road because that will be our guiding light and we won't get wrapped up into that. And then the third key here is, the favorite, intuition. And intuition is what I call the spiritual guidance and direction from the inner self, our higher power. And it's not my human sensation. So how does intuition work? Because it works for everybody. It's always there. And I always say that it's the spirit talking to you. And one of the ways it's through sensation. And of course, people always get the physical sensation mixed up for the spiritual sensation because they think, oh, wow, woohoo, it must be spirit. No, it's not. If you got that, that's human. Spirit isn't like that. Actually, spiritual sensation is kind of boring from a point of view of the human, okay? Because it is. It has no need to go wee or oh, because it is. And I remember when I began studying, one of the teachers that I followed was Paramahansa Yogananda. And one of the great things that he taught me was the great place for you to become and to live is in a place where you can work with the neutralization of the waves of likes and dislikes. Neutralize the waves of likes and dislikes so that instead of going like this, you're working in a band like that. And people will say, that sounds boring. Actually, it probably is. It is boring. But does it ever feel good or right? That's the difference. When you know you're there, you don't need that. So you could get the message through feeling, you can get it through really interesting symbolic dreams. You could get it through unusual thoughts at unusual times. You know, when you're trying to remember somebody's name and you can't, and you're taking a shower or rub, and all of a sudden they're there 2 days later. Or coincidences. Or if you're looking to see if you need to do any work on yourself, it's real easy. Because if you're involved at all with anybody at any time and you have a reaction, a zzz, it doesn't matter whether it's a little zzz or a whoa. And it doesn't matter what the situation is, right, wrong out there. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. If you have a reaction, you have a problem. And so we need to look at that, because how many people deal with situations where it gets a little tacky and you have no problem doing it? But then you get this one that's not nearly as bad as that, and it's zzzt. Okay? So it's not the problem, it's the person, it's us. And that's another good way Spirit talks to us. Visualization, you know, you get that image. I like the images. Or the ones I don't like are those spiritual prompts, just as you need them. I told you the story about my dog thing and the gang in China that I pulled that off. It's the spiritual prompts. And the willingness to follow that and trust. That's a hard one to do. That's the hardest I've ever had to do. So it's really, really important to get into understanding that part about self. Then the last thing I really want to talk about here, I always call it Jesus' threefold success system. The three things that we have to do, simple, basic, to the point, one chapter, one line, that's it. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and you shall find, and knock, and the door will be open unto you. So we're working here, in particular, the most powerful part of our mind. We have three ways to use our mind: the directive quality, analyzing, programming, planning, strategic. And we have the contemplative part, which is meditation and prayer. We're all really pretty good at that. But here's the most powerful way to use your mind, and the least used. And that's the receptive quality of mind. Ask and ye shall receive. Well, I'll go looking for answers and look here and there, but we won't ask. Anybody have a hard time asking? Not just for answers, for anything. Yeah, and that's one of the things that we want to get over, is having that problem to ask. Good way to start is asking ourselves, why do we have that? And work at that, because asking is a very powerful tool. And how do you do that? Well, generally when I work with people, I say it's about asking a question. That comes out of, like Redford and the Celestine prophecy talked about, is asking a question, you get your answer, but the trick is asking the right question. For example, how come this always happens to me? What's wrong with me? Wrong question. That's what you want to know. Wrong question. The right question is, what is it I need to know about myself to rise above this continuing pattern? But then again, there's another caveat that goes with this. Don't ask if you really don't want the answer. Because I got to tell you, a lot of times the answer isn't really nice. Because it means you got to do something or let something go to get beyond it. Okay? And it was really interesting. There were a couple of things that happened here. And when Bob was doing the opening treatment, it just come to me. You know, there's a lot of different ways to ask. Like you could ask the question, but if you're in prayer and meditation and you're visualizing something, that's asking too. So in all of the things that when you ask, always remember, it's not about you knowing what to do. Forget it if you're trying to figure that out. It's you knowing where to start, and you've got your question asked, whether it be in meditation or in prayer or the question, and be willing to start, as Roosevelt said, where you are with what you can now, and know that the Spirit's going to give you what it is you need to do as you go along. I tried 25 years to figure out what would the steps be to get what I was working on, and I batted 100% in 25 years. I was never right once. So about 10 years ago, I stopped doing that because it was, I just wanted to do it once. Forget it, You're not going to get it. Well, you might get elements of it, but it's about the willingness to step forward and trust. And of course, that's where the faith and the strength come in. That's what gives you the part of the strength, the ability to be able to develop the wisdom and to use the wisdom. So, one other thought I'd like to leave you with, and then I want to say something about what Katie said. Well, I'll say it about what she said about war no more. That's a really good concept, huh? And we as human beings are never going to be able to figure that out until we do the work individually that we need to do to fill that out. We have to learn how to calm the war within. That's the war that we have the ability and power to stop, and as we do that, the collective consciousness will permeate out. And believe me, I think it's a pretty big task, because there's some really interesting stuff go on in there. And then the last thing here, well, I've been working on this and working on that, and this is happening, that's happening, and I'm not ready. I call it blisters on your heels. Don't get blisters on your heels. So when you're getting guidance, when you're getting the signs, step into it. But we have to reserve, well, I'm not quite ready yet. I'd like to have a little more of a safety net and all this. And, well, we just pile it on, good growing material, piling it on. And we get into so much by digging in our heels or resisting of what we set in motion that it causes all kinds of conflict. And I always have people asking me, well, this is happening to me, this is happening, and I don't know what to do. I says, is it happening? Yeah. Well, they say, well, I don't think it's the right time. Well, if it's happening, it's the right time. And they say, well, how do you know? I said, because if it wasn't, it wouldn't be happening. Now, that doesn't sound really difficult to get your mind wrapped around, does it? However, you would be surprised how we get our mind wrapped around it. One of the favorite ways that we do to avoid it is, well, I'm not going to do nothing right now. I'm just kind of going with the flow. Anybody ever heard that? I'm in the flow. And I always like to do a reality check. And I always say, well, you got to check it. Is it the river or the sewer? Because they both flow. So, it's a good one, I got to tell you. It makes people stop and think. And so the reality of the situation is the wisdom and everything that we need to know is already readily available for us. All we need to do is what Emerson said, get her bloated nothingness out of the way. That's what he calls the ego. And then open up to receive the divine guidance and inspiration. So I know for you, as I know for myself, that divine right action takes place in my life, and there's a gradual, orderly, sequential unfoldment into form of the highest and best that I am, and we are, and so it is. And thank you.
what do we see? We see souls in motion, 'cause they wanna be free. Oh, the young and the old, every nation on earth, a harmony of voices that just wanna be heard. We could try to separate us by color, class, and creed. One thing no one has ever seen is still connecting everyone you meet. Democracy of spirit is alive in the world. It's in every cell of every living thing. It's at the center of the universe. And the democracy of spirit is alive in you and me. Divine unseen reality, breathing life through everything. When you look around yourself, what do you see? Is it a soul in trouble that just wants to be free? Oh, don't wait till you're old to believe in your worth. Gotta raise up your voice, let your song be heard. We can try to separate us by color, class, and creed. But the one thing no one has ever seen is still connecting everyone you meet. The democracy of spirit is alive in the world. It's in every cell of every living thing. It's at the center of the universe. And the democracy of spirit is alive in you and me. A divine unseen reality, breathing life through everything. Oh, none of us is greater, and none of us is less, and none of us are strangers in the place where spirit rests. The democracy of spirit is alive in the world. It's in every cell of every living thing. It's at the center of the universe. And the democracy of spirit is alive in you and me. A divine unseen reality, breathing light through everything.
Thank you, Anthony. Yes, I was wondering, are they having another song? No one told me. Okay, no problem. And now it is our time of conscious giving. Together, using our time, talent, and treasure, we create this wonderful spiritual community together that sustains and inspires us. Remember that. This community isn't a few people up on the board or on the spiritual leadership team that's making this happen. You are creating this community. Your gifts, your talents, your treasures are what sustain this community. And all of you have all three of those things in abundance. Perhaps one more than the other at certain times, and that's understandable. But no, the more you can give of yourself here, through your love, through your sharing, through your service and support, the stronger this community becomes. And this is a wonderful community. I love it. It does sustain me. It does inspire me. And what that means is you sustain me. You inspire me by sharing the gift of you each week. And I can't wait for this COVID to be over so that we can all come together, because all of you out there in Zoom land, I miss you. It's not the same without you. And I hope sooner rather than later you'll be able to come back and share your gifts and talents and treasures with us once again. For those of you who would like to donate, you can donate at Unity of Calgary. You can go on the website, or you can mail in your check. And before we begin, Anthony and the band begin singing our offering song, let us all affirm our abundance affirmation together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And we can all stand and sing if we so wish.
This moment, I'm grateful for my life, and I trust that a higher power will always be there to provide. That's why I give with an open heart. That's why I give with an open heart. Well, I place my faith in the Spirit, and I welcome each and every day. And I let go of all my troubles and worries. New abundance always comes my way, and that's why I give with an open heart. That's why I give with an open heart. I'm gonna give with an open heart. Yeah, I'm gonna give with an open heart.
Yoo-hoo! We also have a blessing for the children. The children that are here in the room, the children in your lives, and of course, our very own inner child. Let's please affirm this together. We love you, we bless you, and we appreciate you just the way you are. Yes, indeed. And now, let us take a quiet moment and bring to our awareness anything that we want to surrender into prayer. For we know that turning our concerns over to Spirit opens the way for abundant blessings to unfold. Just take a moment. Who do you know that could use a blessing? That could use a little love, a little support? Perhaps yourself. Perhaps your inner child needs some love right now. You could create a prayer for your inner child, or for anyone in your life. The prayer box is up front here, so you could write that prayer request here and drop it into the box. Or you can submit your prayer request to our website, unityofcalgary.org, or email prayer@unityofcalgary.org. Your request is sent to our prayer team and to Silent Unity for 30 days of prayer. And if you need some support in a prayer in your life, there's also the prayer line at Silent Unity, 1-800-NOW-PRAY. And it's open 24/7. We also hold and love communities in Canada. And guess who's the whole community around Canada is holding in prayer this month? Us! And the Unity of Edmonton. Unity of Edmonton and the Unity of Calgary. So be ready for blessings. Open your heart to receive the blessings from all across Canada this month. They're going to be pouring in. And now our prayer of protection. Please join with me in saying our prayer of protection. The light that is God surrounds me. I am the light. The love that is God enfolds me. I am the love. The power that is God protects me. I am the power. The presence that is God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Amen. And now we get the joy of hearing another song from Anthony Burbage and the band. Let's please welcome Anthony and the Unity Band.
The choir is, you're welcome to stand and sing with us, choir. On my own I am only one. With your voice I can do much more. So I let go and I'm not alone. You appear and lead me home. Sing through me. Sing through me. Use my voice, Spirit, won't you sing through me? Behind my walls I can feel so strong. With your love I can open up. So I let go and I'm not alone. You appear and I fall into your arms. Love through me. Love through me. Use my heart, Spirit, won't you love through me? All around there is so much hurt. With your power we can heal our world. So we let go and we're not alone. You appear and you heal us all. Heal through me. Heal through me. Use my life, Spirit, won't you heal through me?
Well, thank you, Unity Band. Wonderful music as always. And Reverend Doug Craig, thank you so much for your talk today. As always, lots of wisdom. And that little bit about taking action, that knowledge without action isn't worth anything. You know, I had a lot of knowledge, but the things just weren't coming my way for years and years, and I kept wondering why. Because I forgot that, or I didn't quite clue into that second part, that you actually have to take some action on what you know.
That's your one step.
That is the one step, isn't it, Anthony? Absolutely. And it is the one step that's right in front of you right now. That's the only step, the only action you have to take for miracles to happen. And I also loved what he said about calm the war within. Can anyone relate to the war within? That's certainly been my journey in the past few years, is calming that war. So thank you again. And now, we're coming to a close of another beautiful Sunday morning. I want to wish everyone a wonderful week. Please share the time and the talents and the treasures that you have with the people you love this week. And let us all stand in a circle and sing, "Let There Be Peace on Earth."
There be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, and we all are free. Let us walk with each other, perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joy vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Thank you all. Have a great week. And if you like, stick around. For how does that go, Katie? Conversations that matter with people who care. Have a great week.
You want Democracy of Spirit? Okay, well, let's do that one. Okay. You got to find it. When we look around the world, what do we see? We see souls in motion that just want to be free. Oh, the young and the old, every nation on earth, a harmony of voices that just want to be heard. They can try to separate us by color, class, and creed. One thing no one has ever seen, still connecting everyone you need. The democracy of spirit is alive in the world. It's in every cell of every living thing. It's at the center of the universe. The democracy of spirit is alive in you and me. A divine unseen reality, breathing life through everything. When you look inside yourself, oh, what do you see? Is it a soul in trouble that just wants to be free? Oh, don't wait until you're old. Believe in your worth. Gotta raise up your voice. Let your song be heard. They can try to separate us by color, class,
democracy of spirit is alive in the world. It's in every cell of every living thing. It's at the center of the universe. And democracy of spirit is alive in you and me. A divine unseen reality